Right, welcome back to another Reicher podcast. I hope you enjoyed the last one. It received a lot of positive feedback, so thank you, everyone.
It was very exciting to hear everybody's thoughts about Gareth Archer.
The rodent. Anyway, we found another Mong. Well, we haven't really found him, but
we've been aware of him for a little while, but he's in the same clan as James, Ashley, Eugene, them lot.
Yeah, and he reckons that he's a film director, which is embarrassing because we've actually just watched his film and it is shit.
It is very shit. It's called, for those that are unaware, it's called Running Away from the Unknown.
Which already that just is mind-boggling how ridiculous that sounds.
But it's a film that exists. It's 31 minutes long, which is too long in my opinion.
But then if you cut the intro, because the intro is actually 6 minutes long, so that takes up about 25% of the...
I don't know about you, but I've never put a film on, like any film, ever. And the first thing I see is everyone involved with the film sat on a sofa as heavy metal plays over them. And we can't even hear what they're saying.
That is the entire film.
Pretty much, which we'll get to very shortly when we analyse the film in its entirety.
So let's talk about the director, Dominic Calvitto. Literally looks like a smack addict.
Which is fitting in a way because apparently he's playing a version of himself in this film, but he's meant to be an alcoholic, not a smack addict.
We are going to have a hard time explaining this because it wasn't actually...
Basically, there's no plot.
Yeah. It
kind of helps if you make a film that you have a plot.
It is the creation of a psychotic mass murderer.
And every single person involved with this film does in fact look like a psychotic mass murderer.
Well, they just look like smack addicts. I think it's amazing how he's managed to find so many rubbish-looking people. To put it nicely, I don't really want to slander anyone in the film because I don't know anyone and it's not personal. So.
Exactly. It would be unfair to make this personal. So just for clarification, Mr. Calvitto, if you're watching, it's not personal. Your film is out there for people to criticise, and we shall do that.
All we're saying is it genuinely looks like you got your cast from a very, very poor area.
Just a bargain bucket.
Yeah, it literally seems like you went to the poorest area in your neighbourhood, got a bunch of smack addicts on the street, said, do you want to be in a film, there's profit, and then just made a complete mockery of them.
And all they could think of was the sweet smack at the end of it.
Unbelievable. Anyway,
absolutely terrible.
Have you seen the post?
Well, yeah. I mean, even the poster looks like it was done in Microsoft Paint.
The poster looks... I mean, I'm looking at it now, and I'd rather be looking at some cow feces, to be quite honest with you, because...
I think cow feces would be easier to explain.
All I'm seeing is Eugene choking out Dominic and a woman sort of sun-gazing.
Which doesn't really make sense in the darkness, but okay.
And then we've got two other couples who I don't even think are shown throughout the full film. Can you remember the two other couples?
I don't remember any other characters other than Calvitto, a woman, Eugene, and this goblin-looking woman.
Well, can I just say the woman on the left looks like something you'd find in a council estate, pushing two prams at once with a fag on. And that's exactly how I'd describe the other woman at the other side, come to think of it, but she's more on smack. So
she looks like she is actually on smack, present in the poster.
And the woman that's sun gazing or stargazing or whatever, I don't even.
She just looks like a school receptionist.
Is she the editor? Because I I think she should stop sun gazing and definitely look at the screen while she's editing.
Stop sun gazing and just look at her life.
Well, yeah. Anyway,
we've also got an FBI warning at the beginning of the film. I don't think that's lawfully acquired.
Well, nobody would want to steal this. I mean, you can't even give it away.
Exactly.
Never mind someone want to steal it.
The fact that YouTube have allowed it to be uploaded is a mystery in itself, but the less said about that, the better.
Let's move on to the little introduction, which takes up about 6 minutes of the overall film.
You'd think the beginning of a film would be establishing characters, talking about what's going to happen possibly, and then we get these prats sat on the sofa.
Yeah.
And I guess they're commentating on the feature we're about to watch, but we can't hear them.
And you know you've fucked up with your friend circle when Eugene is the best looking guy in the room. And it looks like he's wearing eyeshadow in that, so that is really saying something.
Yeah.
Dominic looks like he's being bruised around the cheek area. That woman next to him is clearly his mum. I don't care what anyone says. And then you've got a little goblin.
A little goblin woman.
A little goblin woman that looks like something from Silence of the Lambs. So,
yeah.
Right, let's move on to the actual film. So you've got a pointless scene at the beginning of the film. I don't know what that is all about.
Basically, it seems to be some sort of priest, and they're talking about someone who is meant to be drinking and not meant to be drinking.
Okay, so it's an alcohol awareness thing, right?
But we don't really know anything other than the fact that they just keep talking about drinking being a negative thing.
And then we move into a scene from that, completely unrelated, and I don't think it's explained the connection to that scene to any other scene throughout the full film. But the next scene is Dominic with his suit on, looking fly.
No tie, can I mention that?
No tie, but pretending to be in quite a well-paid job, I imagine.
And
so
he's got a pretty...
That is active for him.
He's got a pretty shit American accent.
Well, I know, and that when that is your native accent, that is a bit of a concern. I assume he is American.
I don't know if he is American or not, because he's got loads of weird sort of things relating to Italy all over his stuff.
Yeah, he's probably half Italian or something. But, yeah, anyway, he sort of is on the phone and he gets a bit pissed off at this woman walking in, and he just lashes out.
Which seems very irrational.
Having said that, I can't hear a word of anything that either of them are saying because of the horrible heavy metal music.
Music in a film is supposed to be not only memorable but atmospheric to what is actually occurring in the movie. Quite clearly, judging from this, I think the music was a last-minute decision to cover how blindingly shit every single element of this movie was, because fuck all of it makes sense.
So basically, Eugene is supposed to be Dominic's subconscious, but I'm pretty sure he says unconscious, which makes no fucking sense. There's clearly a blunder there in the scripts.
I don't know whether that's a language barrier from Eugene's delivery because he's half hillbilly.
But anyway, he's supposed to be sort of, I don't know. I don't really know. He's
from what I understand,
evil guardians.
he's supposed to be an evil spirit that embodies the negative influence of alcohol from Calvitto. But I think even that's a stretch in terms of the mental gymnastics taken to get to that point.
I think the best scene is where Dominic is in the graveyard and Eugene picks him up, drags him all the way into the street, into a bar, and throws him in the bar. All the while you can see the cameraman in the reflection
of the window, which is absolutely appalling. Like, did they even review this footage after shooting the film?
What made me laugh is the fact that Dominic was in a graveyard where it was like supposed to be quite light and during the day, and it changed instantly to the nighttime. It makes no sense.
Oh, there's no continuity, and I think that's definitely one of the film's biggest flaws.
Oh, it's just ridiculous. Watching Dominic get dragged through a graveyard is like watching Noddy get dragged by big ears. In fact, that is the reality of it. It just looks like a real life Noddy getting dragged by a real life big ears, but in some kind of horrible fantasy world.
If Noddy was allowed on after post Watershed with adult themes incorporated into the story, I think Noddy would be superior to this shit.
Oh dear, right. The bar scene as well, where he's in the bar and he's trying to order. No, he's not trying to order.
He's trying to, as far as I could understand, he's trying to make a phone call. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, but you can hear when you've got a scene where you can hear the glasses clacking in the background more than the actual actor, you've got a problem.
Or you don't have a microphone.
Or you don't have a brain in this case, because everything about this film is shit. The idea's shit, the script's crap, his costume, wardrobe is fucking horrendous.
Did they even get permission to film in this place?
His casting choice is wank. And you can see his cameraman in the reflection of most scenes. You can't hear anything throughout the film because it's covered by heavy metal music. There's nothing good to say about this film at all.
It's embarrassing.
Other than it's great material for a podcast.
And that's what we bring to you.
So you have something good has come out of this movie. Our podcast,
which is available to stream on YouTube for free.
And yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this, to be honest, other than
out of 5, what would you rate the film?
I would rate the film a minus 0.
Minus 0.
Yeah.
Wow. I would rate this film unwatchable, inaudible, and it's not a film, so I'm not going to rate it. It's just a man-child's excuse for a self-help awareness video, and quite clearly it's backfired.
Well, clearly it has backfired because he seems to be a bit depressed, so this film, which was supposed to be about alcohol awareness, has quite literally made the director into an alcoholic because of how unsuccessful it is.
I remember reading somewhere that he wanted this film to go viral. Why?
Well, that's probably, that would happen for the wrong reasons.
It might happen for the wrong reasons, but why wouldn't you just delete it?
I don't know, but I would rather watch James Johnson's tranny channel than even a second more of this shitty film.
As someone that genuinely pukes whenever searching up James Johnson's tranny channel, that is not only audible, but watchable in comparison to this toss.
It definitely is. In fact, I've projectile vomited several times before this podcast, just thinking about talking about this film.
We were even going to invite Calvitto on the show, but we just couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't stomach it, to be honest with you.
Because we've just heard rumours that whenever he enters a room, all the hair from his little twat stash just drops off. And it gets everywhere.
Yeah, and he kind of gives me like fascist Italy vibes, like 1940s Italy. He's always got a weird militant cap on, and he looks like he's sleep deprived and food deprived. And
exactly, he just looks he looks deprived. He looks anorexic. He looks disabled.
I know, and then you've got Eugene, who I don't even want to talk about anything this film has to do anymore. Shall we go to the weather with Gareth?
Fuck's sake. And so now a new feature on the podcast, we're going to go into the weather with Gareth. Gareth Archer, will you please take it away?
Hello! Yes, the weather with Gareth Archer. That is me, of course. Just a quick plug for the channel, Plonker88 on YouTube. That's right, that is me. Check that out on YouTube. Anyway, the weather in Bavaria. It looks like we are very windy up in the north, towards Wurzburg, and Nuremberg has got that slight bit of cloud there as well, to compensate the windy weather further up in the north. And then further down we've got obviously Munich. If you are in the Munich area, you are shit out of luck, as they say, because it is fucking torrential rain, pretty much, and you're pretty fucked. If you want say a nice picnic, you would be shit out of luck, I'm afraid. The reason for this weather is because there is a very strong wind coming from Austria, an Austrian wind, if you like, and that is coming all the way from Austria. And from Austria, it came from Slovakia, and from Slovakia, it actually came from the Ukraine, and from the Ukraine, it actually came from Siberia. And prior to Siberia, I don't really know where it came from. I don't really know the origin of that particular wind that is affecting Munich eventually. But there you go. There you have it, the weather. It's also very sunny in Albania at the moment, but that doesn't matter because we're not in Albania. Anyway, that was the weather.
Thank you, Gareth, for that wonderful take on the weather over in Germany.
He's such an amazing weatherman, isn't he?
Exactly. He really knows what he's talking about, and he's always so thorough.
I love the weather with Gareth. I actually I have that on record at home, and I just watch it with my family.
Well, the best bit is that's going to be a regular feature on the podcast from now on.
Absolutely amazing. I can't wait.
Weather with Gareth, the piss drinker.
Yeah, compilation coming soon when that gets to about
Probably
5.
Throw that at the end of the year. Well, I think that's going to wrap things up for this exciting new installment of the Reicher podcast.
Yep, so one thing we have learned is Dominic is a shit director.
He's just not dedicated to the profession that he bestowed upon himself, and therefore he's just shit.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't like films because he would put more work into his films, like making sure the cameraman doesn't appear in the window.
Or that the music wasn't so loud.
I mean, it's just stupid. If he was a chef, he'd give everybody food poisoning.
Exactly. That's the perfect metaphor for this.
Such an idiot.
Yep, Calvitto, you're a disappointment, mate.
And we would like to invite you on the podcast because we think you're brilliant. Anyway.
Speaking of inviting people on the podcast.
Mole woman.
Mole woman. Mole woman, get your fucking head out of the earth and come see us.
We're not even going to be nice to you anymore.
No, because we've been nice for too long. It's 5 episodes now.
We've tried that, and it's got you nowhere.
Exactly.
It's got us nowhere.
Yeah.
So,
we're just disappointed, Mole Woman.
I mean, I really don't get it. Are you well? Are you okay? Why aren't you responding to us?
Because we're concerned about your well-being now, and you're just mugging us off. Always.
Yeah. I mean, it's either rude, you're being rude.
It is rude.
Or you are psychologically unstable, which is something that...
or just visually impaired.
We're going to look more into because we've got Anita, our professional psychologist that we're bringing on in the future, and she's going to do a psychoanalysis of you and everybody else. So
look forward to that.
Stay tuned. Anyway,
next time we'll analyze Eugene Johnson.
Yep, psychoanalysis of Eugene Johnson. Thank you very much for listening, and take care.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.